And Jeff, during the presentation, you said something about it's all about being proactive rather than reactive to risk. So, in what ways has this helped you be more proactive? Or in what ways were you more reactive, and now you don't have to be?
Yeah, so prior to the implementation of this, right? So, and during final mile, typically with final mile kind of going direct to customer, or let's say wholesaler distributors, not direct to patients like you'd see like with a GLP-1. Typically, those are not temperature monitored, or if they are, there was some either a chemical or an electronic indicator which has I would say, a wide tolerance of outcomes in sense of like education on how to use it, a lot of false positives with those types of devices. So what we were doing is we were introducing a real-time monitor that had information that you could assess, as opposed to having a chemical indicator, which is essentially a chemical reaction, which is a color change that says, okay, it's a go, no go device. So we were actually having a data set to be able to evaluate that. As a result, and sorry, before I talk about the result, we didn't use temperature monitoring going back a couple of years. So the feedback that we had from our customers is, how do we know when it's going to arrive? And how do I know my product's okay? So then that's where we had that customer-centric approach to introduce this real-time active monitoring. And as a result, the insights that we saw was we reduced our intercept rate from 1.9% to 0.3%. So a significant reduction in number of shipments that needed to be intercepted that would have been pulled out of the field because we were using strictly a qualified duration in a laboratory, as opposed to using the dynamic thermal modeling from CCT, which ingests the thermal performance of the box in combination with the ambient weather data to spit out and calculate a predictive time that box will last. So we were using that dynamic model to be able to say, okay, well, our box in a lab is qualified for 36 hours. However, we have a frozen product. It's the middle of November. That box realistically will last 2, 3, even sometimes 4 days longer than the worst case testing, which is like 95 degrees in the middle of July, or 100 degrees in California.